baik tu dia jadi mereka tahu रेडियो फिजी बहुत रेडियो फिजी रोज सुनता हूँ
रेडियो Fiji 2 देश की धड़कन.
Good evening, Fiji. In this bulletin, SDLP squabble continues. NFP leader accused of putting health staff morale low. And Fiji Airways will make operational changes.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
The squabble within the suspended Social Democratic Liberal Party is far from over, with two factions now fighting over who is the legally recognized registered officer of the party. It has come to light that Vijay Singh, the only person eligible to fill the vacancy of SDLP president, has been attempting to take control of the party office. However, Andiliti Ngonimbaravi resisted this, insisting that she is the party general secretary. Edwin Nund reports.
In a series of correspondence over the last 24 hours, Vijay Singh has tried to gain possession of the suspended SDLP office, its bank details and other assets. In return, he was told by Andiliti Ngonimbaravi that she was still General Secretary of the suspended party and that Singh had no powers to suspend her. Singh then responds to say that he has not suspended her and is merely following directions as to who is the executive authority of the suspended party. He then includes the registrar of political parties in the correspondence, saying it's vital that the registrar has knowledge of any individual trying to thwart the process so that he does not hold the party liable for the actions of individuals who simply have no authority to do so. Singh also tells Andilitiya that she is no longer the party's authorized and registered officer. He adds Andilitiya needs to get with the law and stop these actions that will cause the party to deregister because of defiance and stalling tactics. After the registrar is copied in, Andilitiya seems to have a change of heart, agreeing under duress to hand over the items, but not to a plaintiff in the recent legal action against the party or a member of one of the factions. She is offered to surrender all items to Singh's nominated legal counsel. Edwin Nund, FBC News.
Some members of the suspended Social Democratic Liberal Party are hoping the division within will be solved soon and factions will unite. A few of the suspended SDLP MPs are not choosing either side of the faction and did not attend any of the two management board meetings that were held last Saturday. Koroi Tandulala reports.
Suspended party MPs Nikono Waikula and Salote Randrondro, while speaking to FBC News, says they did not want to choose sides and want to see both factions united.
That's also the reason why I did not join any of the parties, because I believe in unity, and me joining either one will not assist. So I'm hoping, I'm praying, I think we will be united very soon.
Actually, I did not attend the meeting because I'm not a member of the management board.
Waikula, who has been fighting to restore indigenous human rights and rights of all those who call Fiji home, says he is unsure if the division within the suspended party will help him achieve his goal.
Well, it's all about unity. We united, then we will achieve anything. So it's a pledge to us all and to both sides to get together and unite.
There's just this hope that we will come together again. That is my hope.
Do you see this happening anytime soon?
Yes, pretty soon, I believe.
The SDLP party was suspended by the Registrar of Political Parties yesterday for a breach of the Political Parties Act. They have been given 60 days to resolve their issues internally before they make a submission to contest the vacant positions. Koroi Tandulala, FBC News.
The Minister for Health has accused the National Federation Party of reducing the morale of the nurses and doctors for suggesting a 35% pay cut for all civil servants earlier this year. NFP leader Professor Biman Prasad yesterday moved a motion for a special committee to conduct a holistic inquiry into all aspects of health and medical care service at the public hospitals and centres. Pranita Prakash reports.
The National Federation Party yet again was attacked for suggesting a pay cut for all civil servants.
And I want Fiji to know that National Federation Party wrote pay cut of 35% for all civil servants, including the same doctors and nurses and ward assistants that are there fighting the cause. And they come today in the midst of the COVID-19 to come and say we feel for them. Their morale is low. You made their morale low. Honorable Tikundundua, your party made the morale low.
NFP leader Professor Biman Prasad claims the deterioration of health services and medical care is a reality.
I urge him to see this as an important suggestion, and if he feels, I know they are going to vote against it, but if he feels that this is not the right time to have an inquiry, I would urge him to consider this in the future as well.
In response, the health minister said the inquiry suggested by Professor Prasad will put further pressure on the ministry as they are already facing challenges amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. The motion was defeated. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
Fiji's testing capabilities for COVID-19 is not only the best in the region, it also holds its own against global benchmarks. Health Minister Dr. Ifiremi Wanganambete today told Parliament that as such, Fiji has stopped the further community transmission of the coronavirus. Maggie Boyle tells us more.
It's been a collective response that's made Fiji's fight against the global pandemic stamp out any curve.
We have stopped the disease in its tracks, and our comprehensive surveillance and testing are telling us we have no more presence of the disease in the community.
Since the 14th of March, Fiji's own COVID-19 testing has been extensive.
We conducted a total of 2,431 tests, which averages 33 tests per day. This equates to 2.47 tests per 1,000 population. Furthermore, we are doing 121.5 tests per confirmed case.
In addition, the health minister notes there have been strategically enhancing their existing facilities.
We have also identified 10 health facilities in the public and private sector in all health divisions in the country.
However, from the opposition ranks, there was a need to clarify how their response budget has been spent.
We expected the Honourable Minister to inform Parliament in detail how much of the $40 million allocated in the COVID-19 response budget for 4 months has been used so far, and for what specific purposes.
As part of his ministerial address on the response to the pandemic, the health minister also noted that more than 830,000 Fijians have since been screened at their fever clinics. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Fiji Airways will need to implement a lot of operational changes once the COVID-19 restrictions ease and flights resume. Civil Aviation Minister Ayaz Said Qayyum hopes the government guarantee to Fiji Airways by borrowing of $455 million will help the airline meet its obligations into next year. Said Qayyum says at this stage they cannot say for certain what the new operational features will be, as they depend on what the health authorities decide. He says they are discussing their next course of action. Said Qayyum says there will be a new norm when flights resume.
The way we fly the crew, their training will need to completely change now. Now there's discussions that masks will now be a feature of your uniform. The actual mask may have your uniform colors. That's what some airlines are already talking. In fact, Fiji Airways is discussing those kinds of issues already. How you check in, when you check in, how long before you fly you check in. Number of the standard operating procedures will all change.
The Fiji Flight Attendants Trade Union is exploring their legal options over the termination of more than 700 staff of Fiji Airways on Monday. Union President Joe McGowan confirmed to FBC News the basis of any legal action will be an alleged breach of the collective agreement by Fiji Airways management. The collective agreement between Fiji Airways and the union required the airline to give 60 days notice of intended redundancy and to explore all possibilities to avert redundancy. McGowan also stated that they will follow all the requirement procedures under the law. He says there is also no time frame set for the matter. Of the 775, 87 terminated staff include expatriate pilots along with senior management staff. A majority of those terminated are the national airline's cabin crew, an estimated 400 staff. Up ahead, contractor terminated due to non-performance, and work on Vatandova Bridge complete.
Pula natang ko aprosan ngarse, go erkraki, do televizyon navarong na Radio Fiji 1, nandomo ibiti.
Radio Fiji 1, nandomo ibiti.
The Economy Minister has revealed the contractor who was building their Mombasa Campus has been terminated due to non-performance and not due to a money matter. The minister was referring to claims by NFP leader Vern Cotter, who said that the work done so far does not match the amount of money already paid to the contractor. Apinisa Wangarandovu with the details.
It appears the NFP leader was clearly unaware of the status of FNU Mombasa Campus.
I'm also been told that the campus construction at Mombasa Campus is in trouble. I'm told that the contractor has been fired and that the amount of work that the contractor did is not commensurate with the amount of money that is already been paid.
The Minister for Economy says only 47% of work has been completed, and this is not in line with the schedule.
The contractor has been given the termination notice, essentially because of non-performance. They've not been paid more money than what they've done work for.
It looks unlikely that the campus will be completed by year-end, as a new contractor has yet to be determined.
Now we are going through the machinations to be able to get somebody else to do the work. With the new contractor coming on board, we'll be able to complete this as soon as possible. The plan was to complete it this year. It looks like it won't be completed this year.
The new $36 million Mombasa campus will have 3 lecture theatres, 2 computer labs, 10 classrooms with video conferencing facilities and a library. It will be able to accommodate around 2,000 to 2,500 students. Apinisa Wangarandovu, FBC News.
Some good news for heavy vehicle drivers and operators in the Northern Division. There will be no weight restrictions on the bridges from Mombasa to Nambawalu. The Fiji Roads Authority confirms major work was carried out on the Vatundova Bridge outside Mombasa. The 20-metre bridge was the only bridge on the main highway from Mombasa to Nambawalu, which had a weight restriction of 20 tonnes. Now, with the redecking of the bridge completed, the load restriction has been removed. The bridge also has a new footpath and handrails. The Bailey bridges at Vesindrua, Korovuli and Korovula along the same highway also have no weight limitations. An estimated $7.4 million has been received by the government to assist in post-rehabilitation following Tropical Cyclone Harold. Disaster Management Minister Nisero Ratu says out of the total amount, $4.1 million was received in the form of cash and $3.3 million in kind from several countries, businesses, civil and non-government organizations. Josina Nunga reports the damage cost left by TC Harold stands at over $100 million.
Inia Seruirato says the government's swift and effective response has enabled them to complete the rehabilitation in a span of 6 weeks.
Within 24 hours, we were on the ground with our surveillance protocols. Within 5 days, 3. Within 5 days of TC Harold's passing, the first phase of emergency supplies was deployed. And this shows that government is committed to ensuring assistance is delivered in a timely manner for all Fijians despite the overwhelming challenges faced.
The agriculture sector was severely impacted, amounting a loss of $27.8 million as 90% of crops were destroyed.
Farmers need crop rehabilitation in the form of seedlings, not so much seeds.
As of end of last week, Friday, within less than 2 months since the launch of this package, distributed 36,495 seed packages to households across the 4 divisions of Fiji.
Since 2014, the government has spent over $500,000 setting up and refurbishing evacuation centers in the 4 divisions. Josina Nunga, FBC News.
The Ministry of Forestry continues to discuss the purchase of fallen trees from resource owners following Tropical Cyclone Harold. This was highlighted by the Minister for Forestry, Osena Ngamu, while giving an update on efforts in the forestry sector to help address the impacts of COVID-19 and natural disasters.
The Forestry Minister highlighted that in addition to assisting in rebuilding homes, the ministry is considering paying stumpage to resource owners. This would provide timber to rebuild their homes and any surplus could be sold.
We have also extended assistance to Matuku, Watulele and Onela through the provision of portable sawmills, training and capacity building to empower communities to salvage blown over pine for their housing needs. Our intention is not to leave anyone behind.
Opposition MP Lenora Ngerngere has commended the government's tree planting initiative that continues regardless of COVID-19.
The government has revived with gusto the desire to plant 15 million trees, and that is welcome.
The Minister for Forestry highlighted that in the past 15 months since the launch of Fiji's tree planting initiative, they've planted over 1.9 million trees and mangroves. The ministry continues planting trees with the COVID-19 social distancing measures. Lena Reese, FBC News.
And Whitney is here now with business.
Thanks, Jackie. Coming up in business tonight, over 600 Fijian Made license issued. And ratepayers make use of amnesty period. Stay with us.
My name is Neha and I'm from Karavi, and Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Over 680 businesses have been licensed under the Fijian Made by Fijian campaign since its inception in 2011. Minister for Trade Fairs Koya says 3,482 products are registered with the campaign, and the latest is Fijian Organic. 69% of all businesses registered are micro, small and medium enterprises, and 53% are Fijian crafted licenses. Under the campaign, the ministry provides market access and opportunity to ordinary Fijians, particularly women and those in the rural and maritime areas.
The campaign helps to reduce our rising import bills and the country's negative balance of payment position over the years, which is more so important now we've started our recovery phase.
Rates owed to all municipal councils as of December 2018 stood at over $48 million. Local government minister Pramila Kumar says they continue to face challenges in collecting the rates. Kumar says from January to April this year, the councils managed to collect 1.96 million in arrears, leaving the overdue rates to stand at 42.4 million. Last year, 2 amnesty periods were given to residential ratepayers to help them clear their dues.
By providing rates amnesty to residential ratepayers, a sum of 5.5 million was recovered, bringing down the total arrears to 44.3 million, including the interest, at the end of December 2019.
The minister says this year the Suva City Council's rate collection is the highest, as they have collected 13.8 million from a total invoice sum of 15.7 million. The economy minister has revealed that about 276 million was withdrawn from the Fiji National Provident Fund after Tropical Cyclone Winston in 2016. While responding to a question posed by opposition MP Lenora Ngerngere on the government's plan to replenish the funds already withdrawn by 180,000 FNPF members after TC Winston, Aya Syed Kayum clarified the members themselves can rebuild the fund. Syed Kayum says the damage sustained in most sectors from the cyclone forces them to embark on various projects to normalize things.
We embarked on what we call the Health for Homes program, in which we essentially funded $127.8 million of rebuilding of homes. We spent $234.5 million in rehabilitating schools, social welfare top-up of $20.2 million, other rehabilitation from the economic social sectors, $97.6 million, which was total government funding of about $480 million, plus the FNPF payout of $275 million. Then, of course, the insurance companies also paid out about $189.4 million. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, that was the level of injection that took place into the economy.
Gary from HFC Bank joins us now with the latest from the stock market.
The US dollar gained today as worries about the US response to China's proposed security law for Hong Kong supported demand for the greenback. Additionally, US consumer confidence rose slightly in May, while new home sales increased despite a forecast drop. There was little movement in the Kiwi dollar after New Zealand's central bank stated today that their financial system is solid enough to weather the impact caused by the pandemic and support the country's recovery. Across Tasman, the Aussie dollar barely reacted as data on building and engineering construction activity for the first quarter revealed a 1% drop. This took into account activities prior to the COVID-19 nationwide restrictions. Meanwhile, the euro held on to gains against the US dollar and pound sterling, but faces a severe test when the European Commission releases the details of a financial rescue fund for the Eurozone tonight. And that's a wrap from HFC Bank, Naka.
Turning to today's exchange rates as set this morning, the Fiji dollar had a good day against our two biggest trading partners and made gains against both the Aussie and Kiwi dollars. But the strong rise of the US dollar resulted in the Sangamoli showing a decline against the other currencies we cover. On to the commodities market, the price of crude oil fell below $34 per barrel. Gold declined, closing at $1,709 per ounce, and silver closed down at $17.05 per ounce. That's it from Business Tonight. We now join Jamie with the latest in sports.
Thanks, Whitney, and good evening. Coming up, Sports Council plans for rise in demand. And Cotter already in touch with players. This and more after the break.
Bola, I'm Miri, I'm from Lotoka, and I love Gold FM because they play all my classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
The demand for sports facilities is expected to skyrocket once COVID-19 restrictions are lifted. In anticipation of the surge in demand, the country's major sports facility owners are taking a proactive approach by meeting with sporting organizations ahead of time so as to accommodate as many as possible. Aquila Dama with more.
The Fiji Sports Council will try to work out how to facilitate the demands for their facilities when contact sports are given the green light to start their competitions in the country.
Last week the board of the council met and they have come up with an agreement to meet with all the national sports organisation and the major venue organisers and users. So we're going to hold a meeting with them next week, and part of that will be to discuss what we can do to facilitate getting everybody back into action.
One of the users of Sports Council facilities is the Fiji Rugby Union. They too are aware of the late booking risks.
We were working in advance to be proactive, so that they can book the venues, because as you know, all the sports will start at once. So the demand for venues will be really tight.
The FRU plans to start their Skipper Cup competition on the 11th of July. Aquila Dama, FBC Sports.
New Fiji Airways Flying Fijians head coach Vern Cotter has not been able to travel to Fiji yet, but that hasn't stopped him from getting some work done. With the use of digital technology, Cotter has been able to keep in touch with local and international players from his home in New Zealand until he's given the all clear to travel.
A lot of work looking at manuals and doing a lot of work in Fiji in New Zealand where he is. And he's reviewing all our players internationally and going through doing a lot of video conferencing, all of that. We haven't got word when he's about to arrive in the country, but we really haven't got any transport moving.
Cotter says getting involved with local players tops his agenda.
I can't wait to the islands and meet everybody involved. Some passionate people in the game in Fiji. There's a whole group of people I'm looking forward to meeting and then start the...
A World Rugby proposal to get rid of scrum resets has been dismissed as ridiculous by an All Black who says you may as well play touch rugby. It's one of a number of ideas put forward by the governing body's medical group looking at ways to limit the spread of COVID-19 when rugby returns. The government provided a total of $3.5 million for Team Fiji to prepare for the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. This was highlighted by Minister for Youth and Sports Parveen Kumar in Parliament. Kumar says minor sports were also assisted through the funds. The response came after opposition member Lenora Ngeringer Tambua raised concerns about the lack of funding for minor sports like boxing.
Boxing, as you know, Honourable Speaker, has represented Fiji very proudly at the Olympics in Rio, and this is one of the sports that really needs some financing.
And from this total budget, Mr. Speaker said, around 3.1 million was distributed to the individual sporting bodies as preparation cost.
I really don't know where Honorable Ngere Tambua is getting her views on the assistance.
With the 2020 NRL season to resume tomorrow, the Fiji National Rugby League is working on getting its national reps in the NRL on board for the Fiji Mbati squad. The FNRL is starting preparations for a test match between the Mbati and an invitational Tonga side in October, despite the ongoing pandemic casting a cloud of doubt over upcoming internationals. Tale Materakula has more.
Fiji Mbati head coach Brendan Costin says the players are ready for kickoff.
I've been staying in touch with the players and checking in how they've been training with their NRL-based club, and everyone's fit and raring to go.
We have until August as a deadline for when the Asia Pacific Rugby will deliver a final verdict on whether or not we're going to have the end-of-year test.
But in the meantime, the number of players who will hit the field when games resume will give the FNRL a clear picture on players to choose for the test match.
So it's pretty much a crop from the last end-of-year test, and that's looking good for us in terms of the players that are within the pool of players we can choose for the end-of-year test.
That's it from sports tonight. Coming up in new media, learn how to reverse image search using Google. This and more after the break.
Bula, I'm Miri, I'm from Lotoka, and I love Gold FM because they play all my classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
It has been another sunny, mild day. Over to the west, it was much the same as across the rest of the nation. Clear skies, sunshine and moderate breezes. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, some scattered clouds but generally sunny. Up north, the great weather continued for Mombasa and Vanuatu. All areas can expect a cool night. At sea, southeast winds 15 to 20 knots and moderate to rough swells. Turning to the tides, the next high tide is at 10:24 tonight, followed by low tide at 4:12 tomorrow morning, followed by the sun peeping up over the horizon at 6:28 in the morning. Of course, looking at tomorrow's conditions, more of the same, clear skies, sunshine and mild temperatures ranging from the mid-20s to 30 degrees. And for Friday, the last day before the weekend, we can expect more good weather with only a slight chance of showers along eastern shores and in the interior of the larger islands. And that's the weather for now. Back to Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Kritika. In Fijian Pulse tonight, we ask, should more emphasis be given to the agriculture sector to help us increase our export earnings?
Yes, I think the agriculture sector should be re-looked at.
Government should think about investing more in agriculture sector.
Government should invest more money so that our exports can be increased.
I agree because I truly believe agriculture will provide the support we need for our economy.
Recapping the main stories for tonight, SDLP squabble continues. NFP leader accused of putting health staff morale low. And Fiji Airways will make operational changes. Now for these stories and others, tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. Our poll question this week, we are asking, is Fiji facing a major problem with animal abuse? Visit our FBC website to answer. And our shot of the day, beautiful sunrise was captured at Cunningham Hill by Cheke Rasai. And you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj, via Facebook page FBC News and our Twitter page at FBC_news. That's your news for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe. Good night.
Bula, I'm Miri, I'm from Lotoka, and I love Gold FM because they play all my classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.